Hi, welcome to Hear Us Out. I'm Paul.
And I'm Patrick.
And this is the second episode of What Have You Been Watching? So this is where we just kind of shoot the breeze. We haven't discussed anything that we're going to talk about on this show. So, which is, it's, a lot more of a conversation unplanned.
We're pretty much going to freestyle it and find out what have you been watching? And what have you been watching, Paul?
A lot of Family Guy crap on YouTube.
Nice. Wasn't expecting that.
I don't know why. It's just one of those things like you can, because you've watched so much of it already, kind of thing. You just put it on the side. It's like an other screen.
I got you. Something you don't have to pay a whole lot of attention to.
Yeah, because I've been playing a lot of Apex Legends, so that new game. So.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about, but never actually even physically seen.
Well, I'm terrible at it, so you're probably not going to hear a lot about from me.
Oh, you're finding that patience learning curve thing is...
Yeah, the grind is there just to get some kind of skill in it, so...
Oh, well, a good accompaniment to that is YouTube, and did you happen across Family Guy and end up in the Family Guy spiral? Was it like, I'll just let that keep playing and you get served more and more?
Oh, yeah, and then also does the whole thing where it slowly switches over to American Dad, and then every now and again, there's like a Simpson part that's thrown in there as well, because it's just clips.
Oh, but it's usually the good bits. It's I hope anyway.
There's a lot
stuck
of
with bad ones.
The Simpson ones are like from the later seasons, so they're not the great ones.
Yeah.
But the Family Guy and American Dad ones are all the grand ones. And stuff
I think everybody knows that the Simpsons had a high water mark, and then it was a slow but steady decline. To be fair, American Dad I enjoyed, but I left it. But it maybe out of them all has my favorite moment. And it's a Roger the alien.
Oh yeah, Roger the Great.
It's where he becomes a handyman, but he's not a main part of the story at all. So he's just running around doing handyman things during the episode. Okay. And at one point, Francine is having a fight in the kitchen with, I can't remember who she's fighting with. She's fighting with American Dad himself. Stan, yeah. And the lights start going up and down, and the camera pans over, and Roger's standing there, and he's installed a dimmer switch. And he just turns and he goes, "What's the matter? Too fabulous for you?" And walks out. And I was like, that is the perfect bit of offbeat comedy for this type of show. It was just so on key. I laughed. Then I laughed some more. Then I instantly went and watched it again. And I laughed every time. It's one of those, every time I see it, even though I know it's coming, I'm like, I'm laughing now.
There's some great moments in those shows. Because I also watched the comic book... Is it Comic Explained?
Ooh, what was that?
It's a channel that just explains certain things from movies and stuff like that. Like it deep dives into like, the xenomorph from Aliens. Is like, where do they come from? Like, they look up, I guess they look up like resources and everything and kind of explain them a little bit. Right. Just because I was, bored.
You were getting it, yeah. I love YouTube for that though, because it will lead you from one thing to another, and hopefully eventually lead you to Hear Us Out. Yeah. But it's great when you find people. If you're interested in something that day or that moment, it's great that you can find people who are interested in it enough to create good content. Yeah, which is the best thing about YouTube. Yeah. I thought you were going to say Umbrella Academy there for a minute, because I know in our last
the last
what have you been watching?
You've finally I
finally finished Umbrella Academy.
Yeah. So what's your thoughts?
Good. My thoughts are good. I was wavering, and remember I said to you, I really hope it finishes strong, and if it does, then I'll be happy, because it went soft in the middle. I was like, not too sure if this is going to go well. I think it went really well. I'm a little bit confused, and I'm looking forward to talking at length with you, not on camera, about it. But I'm kind of pumped for another season. I think they ended really well for me to kind of go, oh god, yeah, I'll watch more of that. I'll definitely watch more of that.
Yeah, like it's one of those shows that like for the first probably few episodes you're just like, why the hell am I watching this for so long? And then as you get further and further into it, you're just like, crap, this better be in some way good. Yeah. Because if it eventually gets to that point where I'm just like, what have you done?
Yeah, what have you done to me?
Well, I'm glad, because you were saying about Ellen Page, you didn't really think that she was pulling her weight.
And I think you made a fair point that maybe her character, up to the point that I'd watched, hadn't been given enough to do, and I was maybe feeling that a little bit. I don't know if it was unfair. I was blaming her for maybe just a little bit of thinness or weakness in the character. Don't get me wrong, there's still plenty of issues in Umbrella Academy. Like, you can watch that back, and there is that classic thing that I hate of, we have to ask this person who's in hospital a question. We're in a room with them, we're asking them, have you seen this woman? And then a nurse walks in and goes, this patient needs his rest. And they're like, okay, we'll just leave. We literally just asked one question and could you answer that just while we're walking out the door?
Yeah.
It does those little things.
Oh, well, we lost. Now we are yellow.
Yeah, we're yellow. We're all yellow too. I think we should fix that. Okay, we're picking this up from a lighting failure.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're back, and we look better, hopefully.
Than
the yellow. Then
better's a stretch. We certainly look less Simpson than we did when the light went out.
That's true.
Yeah, we're
you're talking about this Umbrella and the Ellen Page thing. You're saying that her character. Where was it? Was it her or was it the writing?
Do you know what? I'm going to go ahead and say that for the first half of the season it was 50-50, because I think it is maybe too much of an excuse to say it was just the writing. I'm feeling that she may well have been phoning it in is maybe really unfair, but there was a real sense that everybody else was just giving more of their all to the we're doing this. Yeah. She did feel a little bit, I know the character was driven by a certain vacancy at that point, especially because of the medication stuff, spoilers. But it really did help her to have that second gear. I saw a lot of what was going to happen coming. But are we gonna spoiler warn people? Because I'm gonna say something in a second.
Yeah, I guess spoiler warning.
Okay,
this
spoiler
kind of
warning.
aspect.
You can move forward about 20 seconds because we're gonna do this really, really quick.
We'll put up the time that you should skip to if you don't want to hear anything about the Umbrella, the Umbrella Corporation, the Umbrella Academy.
So skip to it now if you don't want to know something about the ending. Okay, for those of you that are still here, when the final fight happens and she explodes in power and bursts the moon, essentially. Yeah. Instantly we were like, why was Luther number one on the moon? Obviously, the dad seemed to know an awful lot more. It became very, very clear that he knew more about the apocalypse. Is the spot where she hit in the moon something to do with where Luther was collecting samples from? Because instantly I was like, there's no way for me to know that now. That is a second season sort of thing. It may not matter, but it was one of those. Maybe it will, because I feel like they're trying to intertwine so many things.
I don't think it will.
It might.
See, because this is the thing is, he was collecting samples, but the dad wasn't looking at them.
No, but remember what the dad seemed like he was doing and what the dad was doing. Pogo kept going, and I have one final thing that I've been lying about. And 20 minutes later, it's like, oh yeah, and that other thing I was lying about. Yeah, that was weird. Yeah, I didn't get that. And then 20 minutes later, it's like, Pogo, were you telling the truth about anything? What is your real name, Pogo?
Also, the sugar is not sugar.
Yes. And by the way,
I don't think so. I think he was put onto the moon just as a because he says, don't forget, he says that his death is to bring them all back together. So it wouldn't make sense to have Luther on the moon during the apocalypse when the moon explodes, because he'd be just killed.
But Luther is the only one that he could just say come back to. He could tell Luther where to go. But anyway, it's not that important. It's just one of those things where I was like, I wonder, are they going to add any more layers into this? And that kind of got me, that got me thinking, not just do I want to see what happens next, I want to see how deep they try and weave into their own story. Because I think the deeper they do, the better the show gets. Like, it's one of those things, the more they commit to their premise and the more they commit to intertwining things, the better it's working for me.
Yeah, I get your point in that kind of way. I just from my standpoint, I don't think the moon, apart from destroying the planet, has anything to really do with it.
Consider that last sentence. Apart from destroying the planet, the moon doesn't have anything. It's in
the location and why Luther was there, other than giving him something to do for the 2 years. And I think so. Like, I understand, but I think. But you enjoyed it?
Yeah, thumbs up. Well, and I'm assuming that you feel the same way, but I never really asked.
As I said, it was a weird watch because I blitzed it in one day, but I couldn't put my finger on why I did that. Okay. Final Space, which I watched quite a while ago, which is an animated animated series on Netflix. I blitzed that because I watched I was like, oh, but this seems interesting. Watched the first episode and was just like, well, I'm watching this.
Oh, you were hooked.
And then it just got better and better and better, and now I'm like, I can't wait for a second season kind of thing. Whereas Umbrella, if they were like, yeah, we're not doing a second season, I'd be just like, yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah,
I
okay.
enjoyed the watch.
Yeah.
I'm not as thirsty for another season as I was for Final Space.
And weirdly, I think I benefited from being almost, because it was so broken up for me, I was like, I don't even know if I'm going to watch this till the end because I'm not sure I'm digging it enough. But because it ended up not letting me down, it's built up an awful lot of goodwill for me,
Yeah,
which is a really weird
I get
psychological thing to have happened.
I do get your point in that kind
Yeah,
of
it's
thing where
weird.
it's just like, yeah, you didn't hurt me.
Yeah, you didn't mess up the way I really thought you were gonna. So what else have you been watching? What else has been on the box?
We ended up talking about. I watched the Flat Earth documentary, and then you watched it as well.
I watched it after you mentioned it. Actually,
so like, what's it called again? It's
it has a nice little clever play on words.
Flat Round or something like that. Here, I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, you look it up while I tell you what I thought of it.
Yeah, go for it.
I thought, you know what, it's not the greatest documentary ever made. It just isn't. But like, it's definitely good, fun, and fine. I think like any good documentary about a topic like that,
yeah,
I hesitate to call the people in it characters, but I think they gave a good enough cross section to keep it interesting. If it had just been a hit piece going, look how these people who believe that the Earth is flat, look how silly they are or something.
Yeah,
I think they did a good enough job having astrophysicists be the other voice for a little bit of it, and then as that kind of midpoint or maybe 3/4 of the way through, there was a great point made that I really enjoyed, which was one of the scientists at a science open night in a bar got up to do, they were all getting up to speak about things.
That was a great moment.
And the guy speaks about, look, there's no point in turning people off science by being elitist about this. A flat earther is just somebody who's curious and is finding the wrong answers. We should embrace them. They're the next generation of scientists.
Yeah,
that guy gets it.
Yeah, they said that the flat earther could just be a scientist who never got to be a scientist. So we should, because I like that because it's not just him; it's the other physicists as well. Is also mirroring that sentiment where he's just like, these people are on the fringe, and that's very good. The some of the characters, some of the.
Did you find what it was called, by the way?
Beyond the Curve.
Beyond the Curve.
Beyond the Curve. But like the sergeant's character, or the sergeant is an interesting person in general.
Yeah.
But that Matt guy, Matt Power or whatever the hell, he's like the father of the flat earther thing.
Oh, he calls himself Math Power.
Yeah,
and his real name
Math
is something else.
Powerland or something.
He's an artist and a.
Well, supposedly he worked
a crazy ball.
Like he supposedly worked with NASA, and supposedly they at a party they were just like, the Earth is flat, idiot. It's just like, I think what happened there was a bunch of NASA scientists knew that you were a fuckwit.
Yeah.
And decided to mess with you. And now there's two scientists now fucking laughing their asses off, knowing that an entire subculture of Earth now believes in the flat Earth again.
Stressing that this is a medieval notion that's come back around. Although I do like that Math Power guy being in it and being in existence, because he's such a spaceball, no pun intended, and such an ego on legs. Like he is, he's Pac-Man ego. Like he is the full circle. Yet it plays nicely when you have the Mark Sargent guy who's walking around in a t-shirt that says I am Mark Sargent. When you go from Ultimate Ego to his replacement is Ultimate Ego Junior, it's like Miss Pac-Man. It's like, what did you change? We put a bow on her head. That dude thinks he's a celebrity in the purest sense of the word.
Oh yeah.
And I think you made a good point. We were talking about celebrity before. You can feel like a celebrity.
Oh yeah, if you're in your own fringe group and you've become famous in that fringe group, you're gonna like, you're already in a mindset where you've been pushed to the edges of society. Not so much to the edges of society, but that when you become a known person within that group, it must feel like you're a celebrity, because it grows and grows. Like you've got 50,000 people who are also part of this fringe group, or out. The flat earthers that are following you and listening to everything you say and saying that you're a genius and you're like, you found out exactly like what you wanted and stuff. I get the guy is like, I don't get the t-shirts. That's the one part that I was just like, if you're.
Well, this kind of every time he was asked, and they go crazy. People go crazy and they're starstruck when they see me. I want to ask one last thing before we get off that one topic. Do you believe the Earth is flat?
No.
Could you ever believe the Earth is flat?
If they brought me to space and they showed me the underside of the planet and went, like, we flew over us and it was like a dome and flatness, and then they flew under us and it was just like stone.
Is so funny because their view is the exact same of, I'll believe it's round when you take me up and show me that it is round. I think it's a really fun debate because I could not believe based on bad science that the Earth is flat. If science ever started leaning towards it, I'd be fine with going, I'll consider anything. But I definitely don't want to hang out with people that are going, if you don't believe this, I can't be your friend. Yeah, I respect that they have a different belief, but it's not mine.
I like, that's the thing is I'm very much just like, prove it. And hopefully that you have the open mind as well to the fact that if you come, like, that's why I like the end part where they showed the experiment with those guys and they were just like, oh shit.
Oh, it's fun. It's worth a watch. I definitely say.
What about the love story? There was
the love story.
There was definitely a love story going on there, and I can't believe that they weaved it into a flat Earth documentary. That was a genius moment.
You know what? Yeah, I take it back. Maybe it is one of the better documentaries of all time when you consider they stuck that in there. Oh man,
it's fantastic.
Yeah.
So have you been watching anything else except for Beyond the Curve and the love story that is in there?
Yeah, gosh. Well, weirdly, I went straight from a flat Earth documentary to a safe zone for me, and I watched a film that I've seen quite a few times.
Did you watch Birdman?
No. It's another film I've seen quite a few times, and a lot of people are going to be like, "What? You like that?" And I stand over it every time, and I have a funny feeling you're not going to hate it. Pitch Perfect. I watched Pitch Perfect because it was the perfect antidote to Beyond the Curve. Because Beyond the Curve made me feel, excited about science because I love science. A little sorry for some people because I had curiosity and laughter and all sorts of stuff. But I felt I had mixed feelings because I didn't want to feel like I was laughing at anybody or that sort of thing. So I watched Pitch Perfect because it is a great little tuning fork for me to just reset. Every time I watch it, it's like, oh God, yeah, that's just that film. That's what it is. It's just enjoyable. It's a palate cleansing masterpiece in a lot of ways for me. What do you think of Pitch Perfect? If you hate it, be gentle with me.
I don't hate it. It's because the biggest celebrity crush I have is on Anna Kendrick.
Oh wow!
Like, it's like even my girlfriend knows about my Anna Kendrick, crush.
Ooh, okay.
Because I'm like, anything she said, I'm just like,
oh really? Well, I don't necessarily have a crush on her. I think she's amazingly talented. I have a talent crush on her. I get what you're saying. She's a very attractive lady, but I think I find her very watchable in everything because I don't think she's ever really not delivered. I will, just from an acting point of view.
Yeah, that's true.
Anything she's done, she just seems to give it 100%. But my God, obviously with her, Tony Award-winning stage background and her great voice, and just the fun in this film seemed to play to what appears to be her personality. I don't know her personally. It just seems like such a perfect fit. It's one of those films. It's like, this works because everybody in it works so well together.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree there. Like, it's just, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about her. It's just ever since I've seen her in, like,
was it Up in the Air maybe, or because she was phenomenal in that. I think that was her first. That's her and George Clooney flying around the world firing people. You'll love it.
I don't think I do know that.
You'll love it. Really, really good.
Because I saw her in The Accountant, in all the Pitch Perfect.
Yes,
I've seen her in Into the Woods. I've seen her in the Getting them Married or the Getting Dates for the Wedding.
Oh
movie.
Yeah, I actually haven't seen that one yet.
I've seen
a giggle.
It's a funny film.
Yeah,
like it's not any way smart.
Yeah,
kind of thing. But I don't know why. I don't know why. Yeah, we'll wrap this up.
Yeah, I don't know if there's anything else that I've been watching lately that's going to fulfill the particular question you're asking right now.
I can't think of anything else recently that I still haven't watched the 3 episodes of Punisher.
You still have to finish Punisher.
I know.
My God, man.
I know.
Get it done.
Because it's also the last series.
Yeah, it's the last 3 episodes. 4 now. You never know.
Well, until Disney start up their streaming service.
Yeah, and then have to wait 2 years for contractual reasons. Well, yeah.
And or the release and the fucking copyrights in the European zone.
Oh yeah, good point.
So
Yeah, so on that weird note, I think we should try and edit out as much of the whole Kendrick to Helen Mirren point. So you're either watching a very short video or a very long video that should never really see the light of day. I've been Patrick.
And I've been Paul.
This has been us talking about what you've been watching.
What have we been watching?
Yeah, so you've been watching Hear Us Out.
Like, subscribe, and share us out.
Yeah, and someone, for God's sakes, tweet Anna Kendrick.
Oh, don't.
Link this next time.
Oh.
Come on, man. Anna Kendrick would love to hear that some random guy on YouTube likes her.